for evidence that what men really feel most of the time when it comes to divorce is resentment, not surprise, not loss, not grief, but resentment at losing their very own personal absorber of all their negative externalities, their personal patriarchal absorber of responsibilities, absorber of costs. One needs look no further than how most men behave in custody battles. And that is this. Most men we know statistically, they do not show up. They do not contest the mother's custody order. They actually do nothing. And then, subsequent to having no custody assigned to them, they either come around and look for informal arrangements, drop in and out of the mother's life, harass her, look for something informal, tell the kids lies about how, oh, your mom didn't let me in, your mom didn't let me do custody, or do none of that, thank their lucky stars that they don't have to do the work of parenting, even the minimal work of parenting that's often required of them in heterosexual marriages. They think they're lucky stars that they don't have to do it. They bounce, never to be seen from again. And then when anyone ever calls them on it, when anyone ever says, don't you have kids? They say something like, well, they always just give the kids to the mother. So they make it a sad story about them. One need look no further than those realities to see that what men resent is the fact that they have lost their own personal responsibility person, their own personal entity or agent who they could make responsible for everything, who they could say, it's your responsibility to make sure I have a relationship with my kids. Your kids, that is what they would say. To say to the person for whom it's your responsibility to make sure we have a family. It's your responsibility to make sure that I know what's going on with the kids, right? They feel resentment at losing that and actually having to come to court and be a proactive part of their relationship with their kids. And they don't do it. They don't do it, and they would rather maintain the stance of being aggrieved. They would rather maintain the stance of being aggrieved, or see if they can worm their way into the ex-wife life and make her feel guilty and have an informal arrangement with their kids, have something that's based on manipulating the ex-wife, then do the proactive work of hiring a lawyer, of finding out the minimal of information, because of course we know men are never going to be held to the standards of the mother. So do the minimal information of finding out what school they go to, how much it's going to cost, finding a place where you can live with them, and showing up, hiring an attorney and showing up and saying, I am willing and able, and here's my documentation of how I can support these kids. They would rather do anything than that, because what they get out of marriage is someone who does that for them, and they resent the way that custody forces them to do it for themselves.